The Indian cricket team recorded a historic win over Australia in Test cricket for the first time and at home. Now, when I say this, you are a little surprised. Hasn't the Indian cricket team already done that? Well, of course, I'm talking of the women's cricket team led by Harmanpreet Kaur. They registered a historic win in the one-off Test match held at Wankhede Stadium in India's Mumbai. Let's look at how significant this win was. It's the first time in 11 attempts that India has managed to beat the mighty Australian side, and that too at home. This is the first time that Australia is in fact touring India since they last did, way back in 1984. With the test matches against England and now this one-off test against Australia, India completed what was in fact their first home season stretch in 28 years. Basically, this was the first time the Indian Eves have played more than one test match at home since 1995. So it's been a bit of a historic moment in more ways than one. The pitch was not easy to bat on. It was slow, and adapting to it was in fact the biggest challenge for both these sides. The Indian Eves were coming off a win against England at home, but at another venue. So what were the highlights for Australia, who ended up on the losing side? It was a massive test for new skipper Alyssa Healy. Although they didn't look as out of sorts as England had and did try to fight back, they made some rookie and silly errors that could have shifted the momentum earlier on and gave India much confidence going into the final 2 days. Some runouts, risky shot making and sloppy fielding made Australia lag behind in this 5-day test. Their big positives: Tali McGrath, who looked most comfortable in these conditions. Her batting was the one spark in a contest where the scorelines quite didn't tell the complete story. She was the most successful Aussie batter across both the innings. Ashley Gardner was the lone positive as far as the Aussie bowling lineup was concerned, chipping away with a bunch of wickets to put some pressure for India. There were far too many positives. I have to speak about debutant Richa Ghosh. A 50 in her debut test is something of a magic, and against a quality opposition such as Australia. This Indian side has some brilliant all-rounders or just cricketers who have multi-skills like Deepti Sharma, Pooja Vastrakar, who can turn up with both bat and ball. They are great in the field and the hunger to achieve is sky high. The lineup has so many youngsters who are simply fearless when it comes to playing a format like Test cricket. Sneh Rana was the standout performer for India though with the ball. She had the Aussies up in knots, especially in the second innings. Jemima Rodriguez coming in with some solid batting as well. In these conditions, India definitely looked the more steady and mature team of the two. And just going by how competitive the test was makes us wonder why aren't the women playing enough test matches. Healy too saying in the post-match interactions that she would have liked to come back and give India a tough fight in the second or third test had there been any. And a lot of them make Test cricket a feisty contest and an enjoyable watch. Indian women's team have played a total of just 38 tests as of October last. The last time Indian women's team played a test match before this home stretch, of course, was way back in October 2022. There is a lot of familiarity with the talk and the teams now, thanks to Big Bash League and the Women's Premier League, which has seen a few of these guys sharing the same dressing room. The one sweet moment I would like to take back from this whole test came at the very end, post the match, when celebrations were on and teams were shaking hands, clicking pictures, and Alyssa Healy, skipper of the Aussie team, is seen clicking the pictures of some of the Indian girls posing in celebration. That is a picture worth so much more. Healy, in fact, clicking the picture of her WPL teammate Deepti Sharma, and with the mentor of the franchise being Lisa Sthalekar, a former Australian cricketer herself. The cricketing ties between the two teams are definitely strong. The two teams stay back in India to bring in the new year, but before that they are starting off the ODI series that both are involved in. Of course, a T20 series follows right after, and let's not forget it's a T20 year for the women cricketers as well. The Women's T20 Cricket World Cup is scheduled for the coming year in Bangladesh. So a lot riding on this series and against Australia, which is a giant when it comes to shorter formats and our ODI World Cup champions. They're in fact looking for revenge. The historic win though by the Indian Eves just notches up another memorable chapter for India when it comes to glorious sporting achievements in the year and changing the Indian sporting landscape. It has been a year for growth and an upswing for women's cricket.